What up? This is my 2005 GTO. I acquired this car in December of 2006. It is a QSM, factory QSM on 17s with black interior. Currently, it's not a whole lot as far as power-wise done to it today's standards. But the only thing that's done engine-wise is heads and cam. Trip Flow Specialties and Bullet Racing cams. And then you have Cook's headers. There's 1 3/4. Some Granatelli plug wires. Boost speed. Color intake over the radiator. Got a couple billet items here. The only reason I got a manual tensioner is because at high RPMs the belt kept flying off with a factory style tensioner. So went with a manual. Got this old school catch cans, does its job. Got some Mishimoto coolant hoses that were red at one point and now they look pink. I regret that purchase. Should have went black. Other than that, you got some stuff that support fuel delivery. I got LS3, LS7 injectors with some fast goodies. I bought this intake back before the black was even available, so otherwise it would be black. I'll paint it one day. Not really much in a hurry. I got the Pro Charger relocation kit for the power steering reservoir. It's very handy, cleans up the engine bay a little bit, makes it a little easier to clean up later. I got me a remote clutch breed line, which was a huge help. Got Motul fluids I use in the brake and clutch system. That's a must. That fluid is the best. The bulk of the add-ons to this vehicle has been mostly suspension. And as you can tell, it's sort of lowered. I can't remember the millimeters, but this is the old school Track 2 kit. The old school on Track 2 kit from Patters just included like some GSR struts and shocks and lowering springs and can't remember, a bunch of bushings, of course. And today's Track 2 kit is mostly coilovers and bushings and whatnot. And then later I went back and added adjustable sway bars. The adjustable sway bars is probably what woke the car up the most, but it's still on the 2007 installed Patters suspension, so the struts and shocks are due for a change. It's been a pretty reliable system. They're nitrogen filled shocks and struts, so they last for a good bit. But now that I'm going over, if I go over bumps, you can definitely tell they're in need of change. Because I built this as a curb hugger, not much of a drag car. I'll take it on a drag strip occasionally, but it's not much to brag about, so not to today's standards, and there was much then either. There's some other engine mods, include a C7R timing chain from Henson. I also got some Henson motor mounts and trans mounts. Internally, also have, which are beautiful, the Comp Ultra Gold roller rockers. You can't see those. Got a port and polished throttle body, 90mm throttle body. Yeah, 160 thermostat with fan settings adjusted, of course. Stock radiator, stock fan, stock water pump, stock oil pump, and pretty much it. It's got good oil pressure, good operating temps, all that. It's very reliable. Can't complain much. And I got some braided fuel line here. Stock ignition coils. Got optimal battery. They have to constantly recharge about every 2 weeks because the battery gets drained by this car. Something with the security system, I reckon. This car loves to eat batteries. It's meant to be driven, so that's my fault. And as far as steering, to take some weight off the front end and make the steering a little quicker, I have a Fetter's rack, non-fast ratio. You know, they weren't available then, and I got Mobil 1 ATF fluid and the Forster F14s, which are pretty much half the weight as a stock 18. Two of these wheels weigh as much as one of stock 18s. It's insane. But they're supposed to be forged aluminum, and they do not offer this finish anymore. And as you can tell, I damaged one wheel already, and that sucked because when I went to go order it and I told them the color I had, they sent me a wheel that they painted by brush. Pissed me off. I wasn't very happy, and I called and they said, well, that's the color you asked for, and I'm like, well, that's not the picture I sent you. And of course I lost that battle, didn't care to fight it anymore. So, you know, I got the other wheel, but eventually I sent it off to Wheelcraft to have them mated together. Big waste of money for sure. For tires, I've been doing okay with these Michelins. I have Michelin All Seasons up front, and the Pilot Sport AS3s, and I got Michelin PS, let's see, I can't remember which ones I got in here. Michelin PS3s, yes, I got Michelin PS3s. I got a 285 35 16, sorry, 18 in the back, and went as wide as I could, and got a 5mm spacer and cut, and it rubs with people in the car. So, you know, but without people in the car, it doesn't rub. So, as far as the help with the steering rack and help preserve it, you can't see it, but behind here I do have a cooler, power steering cooler that I routed in line to the steering rack. So it's helped so far, and it did increase the steering ability, and it doesn't overheat as fast, because before, you know, if I was steering a lot and fighting in the curves, you can feel the steering start to give. So I wasn't very happy with that, so the cooler helps substantially. Let's see, as far as performance wise, other than what you can't see, oh yeah, I got a Spintech exhaust. It's 2.5 inch with no cats. I got my Herod diff cover under there, if you can see that. It's 373 gears with a True Track diff. You got some ARP goodies there. Got me some Hendrick Engineering toe links with quad eccentrics for just on the toe and camber, which is a pain in the ass to align. If I had my own alignment rack, it would be great, but the best alignment I've ever had is when I've gone somewhere and they let me align it for me. Otherwise, you know, the people never get it right, you know. So all my GTO bros feel the pain with the alignment shops. A lot of them just want to get you in and out. They don't want to spend that time on your car. So visually, it has a factory SAP front extension. This was actually the OG SAP extension that West Coast Speed, the OEM duplicate, he used to make his molds to make for the aftermarket SAP bumper extensions. So this is the one he used to make those, which he's out of business now. But I purchased it for about $500-600, I believe, shipped, and it needed some work, which I understood that, but it was a factory piece. But to protect it, I used the ABS splitter. It's just pretty much plastic, but it helps, you know, if I run into a curb or something, you know, it helps protect the lower portion of the bumper. As you can tell, the paint job, the last person that painted it did a pretty crappy job. Either they didn't use flex agent or what, but the bumper is cracked in so many places that I've just pretty much given up, lost all hope, and I'm just gonna wait and paint the whole front end later. Just try to do it all at once. I hate having to take this thing on and off because it just ruins the clips, and it just feels like it's an endless battle, especially when you live in the South. You know, the roads are terrible as it is, so there's no point keeping a perfect car, especially when you like driving it. I mean, it's a driver's car, it's not a show car. So I take it to car shows all the time with the correct bumper. So other than that, I got a line lock that I never use, but it's there in case I want to party. Car's interior, I mean, I guess it's sort of dated, but I got a Pioneer double din, the Holden center gauges that reads the info that pretty much nobody needs to know, but they're there for looks. I got a JHP street shifter, and I've had this shifter since 2008, and it's good as long as your seating position's correct. If I'm too far away from the steering wheel and the shifter, I do miss third if I'm on a drag strip. So I have to make sure I'm up closer to the steering wheel, because my arms, I guess, don't extend far enough. And it has a Blues short stick, which kind of angles it towards you, which is awesome. That was actually a pretty good little ad for the money. It does quite a bit. Let's see. It's got red panels I took out of a 06 red GTO. Seats are pretty much spanking new. I keep everything conditioned at least once a year. You know. And my other favorite feature of this is the Holden steering wheel. They do not make this combination anymore, but it's so comfy. It has the thumb supports, the extra cushion. You know, it's one of my favorite interior mods I've done, if not the favorite. And this is pretty desirable steering wheel and no longer made, so I'll pretty much try to take care of it the most, probably out of all the parts in the car, because it's pretty much touched the most. Got an old school dash hawk, and, you know, it does its job. You know, you can't update them anymore, but it's good for quick reference, especially while you're driving. You ain't got to pull a laptop out or a programmer. You can just leave it hooked up, you know, and you can just read stuff as you drive. You know, it's not much to it. Pretty simple, which is my whole thing with this car. Keep it simple. Okay, so cool. All the little features I got done. The interior, they're kind of subtle. Or the factory floor switch. Locks and unlocks the doors. I got this one wired for the line lock. I just hold it pretty much just to engage it, and when I'm done I just let it on. We'll have this wired through a light in the future once I get the bumper off. You can't really tell right now because it's daylight, but I got the LED conversion on all the gauges. You can see that in one of my previous videos. They illuminate and the needles turn red the higher the RPMs you go. We got me a Repro from West Coast Speed, HSC rear spoiler. It's just held on with 3M tape. It's been on like that since 2010. It's not even showing signs of lifting. I mean, it's stuck on there good. That was one of my favorite exterior mods. As far as the trunk, you can tell I'm debadged. That has been done for quite a while. So if they ever call the cops on me, they'd be like, they have no idea what kind of car it is. They'll probably call me a Cavalier, you know, whatever. The typical, stereotypical jokes people make about these cars. And I got a Alpine Top R 12-inch in the trunk and an Alpine amp. Nothing much there. I don't care to blow any ears out. I just want to hear some bass, you know, from the drums and the bass guitar and the occasional hip hop and rap I'll listen to. So, and I got some spare parts. Converted the black tail lights, which is pretty much standard to do these cars when you first get them. I do have suffering connectors. That was a significant change in the car. It helped the car track much straighter, and also gives you some extra, you know, jack points on your car, which was pretty nice. Now before the car would kick sideways when you shift into third. Well, once I put the subframe connectors, it helped straighten it up some, which was awesome. So, and it pretty much conjoins the whole unibody. And another feature that not a lot of people know, but the OG GTO owners know, is the Katera metal door handles. So you can just tell the difference in how they open. With the metal instead of plastic fiberglass they use from the factory. It's a good upgrade that people don't notice, but if you were to open it, you would know. Other thing that's not made anymore, or the GTO sill plates from Bondman. You know, no longer makes them, and which is sad. They're pretty good hit when they came out, but which makes these rare. Yeah, if you happen to, wish it was dark you could see it, but yeah, when you open the door they illuminate, which is awesome. Another feature I don't even think they make anymore is the GPS bezel. I don't even use this GPS, it's so out of date, but it's just there for looks pretty much. If you want to, you could always you could take it out and put gauges there. You know, it's pretty universal that the backing plate's glued on and just pry it off and put something else there, you know. It's pretty universal, but it's a real clean finish. I like it. It's also one of my favorite pieces. And of course, everything Holden here's been expensive, and half of the stuff is not made anymore. You know, also got these little touches, you know, reflective GTO in red. I want to go overboard with the red, which I kind of feel like I did with the stripes. That is spice red. It's the Holden stripes. And, I really liked it, but I didn't finish it onto the rest of the car because the paint job wasn't up to, you know, we didn't do it perfectly. So if we did do it again, we'll have to wait and finish the stripes onto the tail. Other than that, it needs some love. It's not been paid attention to. All I do is drive it and keep the battery charged. I'm probably lucky to drive it once or twice a month. And, you know, it's not fun to take kids in and out of, but it's paid for. It's not worth selling. You know, it's never straining me as far as the car's fault. The only time it's straining me, you know, because Chick-fil-A had some crappy pack springs. This is a 625 lift cam, and these springs are supposed to be good up to 650. I had them break back to back. I had them break in Maggie Valley, I had them broke in Kentucky, and one time I even had to tow home from North Carolina. It was not fun. But thanks to TrickFlow, I got stranded, and yeah, they sent me some replacement strings, and eventually they stopped breaking. So, you know, they never really admitted to anything, but it kind of pissed me off. I will not do business with them again, but, you know, I put a magnetic engine oil plug in and tried to get all the shavings out that I could, drain the oil multiple times, and so far so good, you know, so I can't complain. It still pulls like it should, and shavings are no longer showing on the plug. So other than that, you know, I got pretty much the usual crap you would do to a GTO, you know, if you were to own one of these around 2010. Other than that, it's really outdated and needs a lot of work. I got a strut bushing collapsing, as you can tell, so I need to fix that before it slinks through the roof. That's not any good. So just little crap like that, you know, it's just, as long as I've done nothing but drive it, and it's showing any attention. Poor thing. It's been a good car. It's been reliable. I've been happy with the purchase. You know, you buy a car for that, when you see a car for the first time that you really like, you get that butterfly feeling. And the first time I ever seen one of these was when I was outside cleaning my truck in high school. It was a black 05, and I saw it leave another house, and it was just like that butterfly feeling. It was like, damn, I gotta have one. And then I was at my friend's house, and his brother, he pulled into the garage and he was shaking the whole house. So I knew when I got of age, or got credit good enough, I was gonna buy one. So I've had this car shoot, 15 years, and it's here to stay. So, it's good. As long as all the people that are distracted driving quit hitting it, you know, it's here to stay. And if I wreck it, I'll probably replace it with a midnight blue metallic, which is my favorite color. So if I knew what I knew now, if I knew more then what I knew now, yeah, I would have got a different color, definitely. Midnight blue metallic, and would have swapped to red interior. So that's pretty much it. You know, I'm sure I missed something, but it's an 05 GTO. It's 16 years old. It's not pretty, but it does the job. You know, other than that, thanks for watching, guys. If you have any questions, holler at me. I'll probably post up when I plan on doing this. I keep buying project after project and neglecting this, so that's why it's so behind and outdated. And if I could quit working on everything else, I could get this thing up close to par. You know, so everything's 1,000 horsepower now, so it's, you know, it does the job. So that's all that matters. Ain't here to win any races. So, anyways, thanks for watching. Let me know what else you want to see or hear. You got any questions, just holler at me. Take it easy. Happy New Year, y'all.